Welcome to my channel. You are now a Beanbeauti. Welcome to Topic Tuesday. Today's topic is luxury. What is luxury to me? And on my channel, we talk all things luxury. We talk things high luxury, low luxury, contemporary, everything that is luxurious to me, then I introduce to you. I also like to shop on a budget and like to shop on with sales and coupons, and I also shop with all those payment app stuff. That's how I afford my luxury. If you're interested in that, then come on back. Okay, welcome to Topic Tuesday. Today's topic is luxury. What is luxury to me? And what you'll find on my channel. This has been twirling around in my head for a long time. Is like what is luxury to you, Dee Dee? What is the definition of luxury? If you look in the luxury world and the luxury just community, the luxury goods, they are like high dollar, elaborate, lavish things. A lot of that stuff is just out of my wheelhouse. I will never be there, never attain those. Those are like extraordinary, excess kinds of things, and those are the things that to me are not on my radar. They're not on my radar. I don't know if they will ever be on my radar because it's just excess that I don't need. That I don't need. Luxury to me is a little bit different than luxury is for a lot of people. And the plain and the simple truth, how I define luxury is anything that is not life sustainable. You have to have a roof over your head, a car to go to A and Z, at least here in Texas. You have to have food on the table and clothes on your back. You have to have something to carry your belongings in. And that's, those are necessities, Anything above and beyond that is luxury. That's from where I came from. I came from a very modest background, came from a very minimal financial background. And so luxury to us was very different. Also, too, how I taught my kids was, is it a want or a need? And that's how I define. If it's in the need category, it is not a luxury. However, you may need something, but it could become a luxury need. You may just need a car to drive to get you from A to B, but then you may want that Mercedes or, a Chevy Silverado in my case. Those are luxury type of vehicles that you may need, where you just need can just get you a little Toyota or a little Ford truck to, head back and forth, and that'll get you from A to B. So a need can also turn into a luxury type of item. That's basically the gist of it. But I do want to go into some other avenues as far as luxury and how I look at things as far as luxury. So things that I like to consider a luxury for us is now that we are empty nesters and we don't have to pay our children's medical, and we don't have to pay our children's schooling, we don't have to pay for our children's activities, for their vehicles, for their gas, any of that stuff. They're all on their own. So we had an influx of money. We had basically about the same income, basically all these years, but we had a raise in our income because they're no longer dependent on us. They're dependent on themselves. So what we did with the excess money was that we started chunking things down off of our bills and started deciding what are the things that we want to do. Like if we were to die tomorrow, what are the things that we would say, if we're on our deathbed and saying, I would regret that we didn't get to do this. Both of our parents, his dad and my mom passed away early in our lives for us, and both of them really wanted to travel. They wanted to go on cruises, they wanted to fly in planes, and they just could never do it for one reason or the other, or their spouses were afraid to fly, or our other parents, were afraid to fly or what have you. And it was just one of those things that were I know his dad, and when he was passing away of cancer, he was like, there was so many things I wanted to do. There was so many things I wanted to taste. I'm missing all this. On top of course, he wanted to see our children grow up. He wanted to see, us get old, things like that. My mother was like, I want to see my grandchildren graduate. I wanted to, go traveling and everything. And she didn't get to do that because she had cancer as well too and passed away from cancer. So when that happened and our we had a little bit of more money because our children had aged out of our home system, then we talked to each other and said that what is it that we want to do. Thus, that became our luxury items to us. So our luxury items to us was, number one, was traveling. Is that we didn't want to wait until he retired to say, okay, well, we'll go see this thing, this country. We'll go on a cruise for the first time. We'll go, here and there for the first time. We want to save. And so we did. We saved for like a whole year and a half before we took our first cruise. And then we also made sure that we had money for like the next one, and we were saving ahead of time. Because of my health, the cruising, we found out, was the easiest way for me to travel, to go see all these different places. So we have been to all these different countries I had never thought of. We've knocked off some wish list items, like Hawaii was a wish list item from both of us, and we checked that off the list. We went to Cancun, then we checked that off the list. And there was other places that we have been to that I never ever would have imagined that we would be able to go to. And I'll put some pictures, and I'll put the names of some of the places that we've been to in these past like 3 or 4 years that we've been able to do. Traveling through cruising is a luxury for us, but it's a luxury that we save to do and want to do that. He has his other little hobbies he likes to do. He likes to buy his cigars. He likes to do his music. He has other things that he likes to do. And for me, the world of handbags just opened up for me, and that became my thing. I used to have all kinds of hobbies, but I couldn't do that. Like, I can't do my beading work anymore. I can't do anything with my hands anymore, like intricate stuff. I used to make bracelets. I used to do arts and crafts. I used to make flowers. I used to, make jewelry. I used to do all kinds of stuff, which I can't do that anymore. And so that luxury was gone. I also plan. I did planners. I loved my planning. I still plan, but I've had to modify how I plan. But that's a lot of writing, and it's hard on my hands. It's hard on my wrist, and so that luxury is gone. That's a luxury to be able to write. I can't do that anymore. So I've had to do some technology along with a little bit of writing, but I can't do that anymore. I did my stickers, where I love to do my stickers in my planners, and then stickers on everything, on cards and stuff like that, and I can't do that anymore. So the handbags filled that part of that collector tendency in me, that part of that arts and crafts person in me, that part of that just having something for myself. And that's how I landed into handbags. And so my luxury brands too are I have Louis Vuitton, I have Fendi, I have a Chanel. I built up to all of those, but you know what? If I had to get rid of all of that, I'm not getting rid of my Vera Bradley. I'm not getting rid of my Dooney & Burke. I'm not getting rid of my Coach. If I had to give up brands, those 3 brands would stay in my collections, because to me, those were luxurious. They're also tied to the history. We talk about luxury like Louis Vuitton and Hermes. They talk about part of the luxury is the history of the houses and things like that. Well, Vera Bradley has a history. Not only does it have a history of her own and how she created the company, it also has a history within our family. With our daughter and our nieces and myself, and how we just love the brand, how it suited all of our needs as the children grew up, as we travel, things like that. And so that has its own history. Dooney & Burke, I have a history with Dooney & Burke when it goes back to high school. Have a new love, a new discovery with Coach, and that has a history. So I believe in building my own history and not necessarily just attaching to the luxury house history that they're saying that we need to do, like Hermes, and that's great. And they grew their company. Same with Louis Vuitton, they grew their company, and that's great. But I have my own history that I like to honor and to make sure that I keep as well too. So when you watch my channel, you may not think that it's a luxury channel compared to other luxuries, but I want to give you luxury of my time, luxury of my friendship, luxury of my wisdom, what little wisdom I have, luxury of just being here and enjoying your comments and things like that. To me, that's luxury, because after 2020 and those years that we were not able to be around friends and family and things like that, my whole definition of what I needed in my life, I needed people, I needed family, I needed friends, I needed that. And so that is luxury that I never want to be without again. Never, never, never. Never want to be without again. So that to me is luxury. I love all of these things, and all these things do bring me joy, and they probably bring me more joy because I am more, because of my health, more sedentary, and am more, live more of a hermit lifestyle, if you will, kind of thing. My hobby, my collection, all that kind of stuff. Uh, I picked up a love that I had set down because I couldn't really do that because of health, and I couldn't do like all these different price points of these different bags because I had children. I had children to take care of, and their bills and their things to do. So now it's a little bit different. Hopefully you understand my channel a little bit more. You understand where I come from as far as the mindset of how I look at my purchases and stuff. And I have gone a little crazy over Louis Vuitton, and I've gotten some pieces and stuff, but I think that I do have a humongous collection because Dee Dee, she goes big or goes home. I just go all in. I go all in when I do something. But I also get to a point where I'm like, whoa, okay, you know what? You've been lucky. You've done these things, and now I want to play with my bags. Now I want to play with my bags. I want to experiment with my stuff. I completely want to honor what is here, and that's another part of the luxury, is that honoring what you have and not being greedy and wanting more and more and more, which is, I guess, is what people call the consumerism or whatever. Like, I don't have a problem buying stuff. People can buy what they want, do what they want. For me personally, I always just kind of, I buy and buy and buy and get crazy because I want to learn about this, I want to learn about that, I want to try that leather, I want to try that fashion house, and I've tried a lot, and so now I'm kind of going, okay, I had a taste of everything, and now let's go back and see what I really, really love. And that's kind of where part of the luxury journey I'm at right now. So hopefully this is a little bit interesting for y'all, and hopefully that y'all have enjoyed my definition of luxury. And if this makes any sense and you're watching this, then that means it sort of made sense to me as I'm editing it. All right, Bean Beauties. Topic Tuesday, like and subscribe, and I'm trying, y'all. I'm trying something other than unboxings. Y'all been wanting some topic videos, and let's see how it works out. Love y'all. Bye-bye.